Hello students. The first chapter of 8th grade Resources and Development is Resources. Before we begin the chapter, let us understand what is resource. Look around you and observe. You will be able to identify many types of resources. The water you drink when you are thirsty, the electricity you use in your house, the rickshaw you use to get home from school, the textbook you use to study are all resources. So anything that can be used to satisfy a need is a resource. So you must be wondering what makes an object or a substance a resource. Utility or usability is what makes an object or substance a resource. How does something become a resource? Things become resources only when they have a value. Its use or utility gives it a value. All resources have some value. This here, value means worth. Some resources have economic value, some do not. For example, metals may have an economic value, a beautiful landscape may not, but both are important and satisfy human needs. Resources are classified into natural and human-made resources. Coming to natural resources, resources that are drawn from nature and used without much modification are called natural resources. The air we breathe, the water in our rivers and lakes, the soils, the mineral are all natural resources. Many of these resources are free gifts of nature and we can use them directly. Natural resources are classified into different groups depending upon their level of development and use, origin, stock and distribution. The first one, classification of natural resources on the basis of development and use. Under this, we have actual resources and potential resources. Coming to actual resources whose quantity is known and which are being used at present are called actual resources. For example, coal and petroleum. Coming to potential resources whose entire quantity may not be known, which are not being used at present, are called potential resources. Potential resources can be used in future once technology for that is properly developed. For example, uranium reserved in Ladakh. Next, we have classification of natural resources on the basis of origin. Abiotic resources and biotic resources. Abiotic resources which come from non-living sources. For example, soil, rocks, minerals. Coming to biotic resources, these are the resources which come from living beings. For example, milk, leather, timber, etc. Then we have classification of natural resources on the basis of their exhaustibility. Here we have classified into renewable resources and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources which can be quickly replenished are called renewable resources. For example, wind energy, hydro energy, solar energy. Non-renewable resources which cannot be replenished in the near future. Example, coal and petroleum. It takes millions of years for the formation of coal and petroleum. Hence, they cannot be replenished in our lifetime. Classification of natural resources on the basis of distribution. Ubiquitous resources and localized resources. Ubiquitous resources which are available everywhere on the earth. For example, air and water. And coming to localized resources, these are the resources available at select location on the earth. For example, coal mines in Jharkhand, topography, climate and altitude are the major factors which affect the distribution of natural resources. And then we have human-made resources. When a natural resources undergoes drastic change by human intervention, it becomes human-made resources. For example, iron ore is processed to make steel. Hence, steel is a man-made resource. Buildings, bridges, railways, machines, etc. are examples of human-made resources. Coming to these human resources, people are the main source of human resources. Improving the quality of people's skill to enable them to create more resources is called human resource development. So how do we conserve these resources? Most of the natural resources are limited in stock. Even some of the renewable resources can become scarce if they are not used judiciously. We are already facing shortage of water at many places. This is because we are exploiting excessive of water. Scientists predict that coal and petroleum are going to be exhausted in the near future. Hence, it is important to conserve the natural resources. Conservation not only secures human life but also the life of the future generations. Making a balance between our need and conservation of resources is called sustainable development. We should follow the following 3 R's of conservation for sustainable development. The first of R is reduce. Here, we should reduce our consumption. And the second R is reuse. Here, we should reuse as many items as possible. And third R is recycle. We should recycle discarded items whenever possible. So, it's our responsibility to maintain and preserve the life support system that nature provides. We need to ensure that all uses of renewable resources are sustainable. The diversity of life on the earth is conserved. The damage to natural environment system is minimized. With this, we wind up this chapter and learn many other ways to implement in your higher grades.